This is Vanilla OS and it is one of the most interesting distros I've reviewed in a long time. Before we start, shout out to David, a long-time channel member, for giving me the initial motive. I immediately visited their website and found this technical jargon. I mean ABroot v2, LVM thin provisioning, VSO v2 and more. The list is probably endless, and even if you visit their page for explanation, it isn't really helpful because you're just bombarded with more technical terms. So here I am after a ton of research to break down all of these and provide a comprehensive review of the Vanilla OS so that you can find out if this is your next destination for distro hopping, provided Vanilla OS 2 is a beta release as of now. Okay, the core idea of Vanilla OS is immutability. But what is immutability? A quick search on the internet brings this up. It means having a read-only core system, which means the base operating system cannot be modified during daily use. But does this mean you cannot install apps or packages? Well, no, that is not the case. This is where ABroot come in. Let me explain. ABroot v2 is the Vanilla's way of implementing a technology known as AB partitioning, which facilitates updates in an immutable system through atomic transactions between two partitions, ensuring a consistently performing system. Now with ABroot v2, Vanilla has made some massive changes. After implementing feedbacks from the users, Vanilla's ABroot v2 is now better than ever. One big change is how they handle updates. Updates were a bit like playing Jenga, pulling out individual blocks and hoping the tower did not collapse. Whereas in ABroot v2, imagine a seamless wardrobe change backstage during a theater performance. It swaps the entire outfits, which is the OCI images, without leaving you half dressed. So again, it all remains consistent. In Atomicity with ABroot v1, picture a puzzle with individual pieces. Updating felt like swapping puzzle pieces. Sometimes you ended up with a mismatched picture. If an update failed, you had to backtrack and find the missing pieces. In ABroot v2, it's like replacing the entire puzzle sections. If an update doesn't fit, it's just undoing a section of the puzzle and putting back the original pieces. No half-assembled puzzles or missing corners. In ABroot v1, if an update went haywire, you crossed your finger and hoped for the best. Rollbacks were like retracing your steps blindfolded. Whereas in v2, if an update fails, it discards the transaction entirely without leaving any traces. Another fascinating feature of Vanilla OS is support for Android application, which is APKs. I have a separate section dedicated for testing Android apps on Vanilla, but as of now, let us talk about the technology which enables you to do so. That is VSO v2. Well, what is VSO v2? Previously, VSO was like any other update manager, but now it also serves as the system shell and package manager and provides support for Android applications like I mentioned before. In Vanilla OS 2, users no longer have direct access to the system shell. Opening the console brings them to the VSO shell. An integrated and mutable Vanilla OS subsystem, it allows users to install and run applications as they would in any other Linux distribution without affecting the system. APKs v2 is also updated, which now plays an entirely new role. It allows the creation of custom environments, stacks for various needs. While APKs v2 got rewritten from scratch, its usage method remains similar. Users can create custom stacks defining which packages to install, and creating one or more subsystems based on these stacks are also possible. Another major feature of this version is boot safety. In v2, Vanilla maintains a separate root-specific boot files like grub and does not mess with the actual master boot after a change. The update process never modifies the master boot except atomically, ensuring and preserving the system's boot integrity. Hence, fail-proof booting. So I've mentioned OCI a couple of times. So again, what are those? Actually, Orchid, the codename for the v2 release of Vanilla, has another cool feature known as the VIB. It literally allows you to have your own modified version of Vanilla. You give it your ideas and personalization, and it puts in together a new blueprint for your personalized operating system. And there are 3 different possible bases from which you can choose from. Pico, a minimal around 60 MB version of Debian built from the Vanilla OS repository, intended to be the base of the Vanilla OS core image. Core, which is an image based on Pico, which adds the core functionalities of the Vanilla OS. It is the intended starting point for developing OCI images for Vanilla OS. And finally, Desktop, the official system image based on Core. It offers the complete user experience designed for Vanilla OS, including the GNOME desktop and all of the graphical tools developed by their team. Okay, it's time to do a hands-on review of the Vanilla OS right now. Let's go and boot it up. Okay, let us start the boot of Vanilla OS v2. And it actually has been 20 days since I'm making this video, since I started making the video for Vanilla OS, and I kind of really want to end it right now because, long story short, it has been a really difficult time with Vanilla trying to install and run it. I understand it's a beta level software, so it won't be a good idea to complain about this, but there's a limit up to which you can push into beta, and seriously, this is far over that. The second release of Vanilla OS beta was not installable on my system. I tried to install on bare metal, it won't work there, and I also tried and install it on my virtual machine. It also won't install. But anyway, thanks to the developers for giving us a third release, which we finally got to install on our system. That is on the VM, and also yesterday I installed on my main PC. And even here I got a very interesting situation. Some features just won't work on my virtual machine. I don't know why, and it acts weird. The OS installation is acting weird on my virtual machine. Like certain apps would freeze, won't work properly. It's happening like this. So the same thing is happening on my main PC where I've installed Vanilla OS, and the problem is different there. We don't get any of the GNOME applications installed by default. GNOME software doesn't work, so there's also a huge problem happening in the main PC installation. So yeah, it's a mess. But anyway, I finally managed to cover somehow Vanilla OS, and it was really a bad idea to try and install it on my main PC. But again, I could not get all of the features to be working on my PC or inside the VM, and I really won't be blaming myself too for this, because I'm pretty sure I gave Vanilla OS a fair chance in getting all the things to work properly, and it really pushed me to the extent of just completing the video and sharing all the experiences I had with Vanilla. Let's continue and check it out. Okay, so let us start our review, and here we have the Vanilla OS installation inside a virtual machine. I'm using Oracle's VirtualBox for this. Anyway, one weird thing that I noticed directly after installation is when I tried to access the system settings in the about sections. If I go to system details, it works now due to some reason, but it won't work. Previously it was causing trouble. So whenever I went to the system details page, I visited the system details page in order to get the software information, the version of the GNOME installed, it just won't open and the entire app freezes. So it has that problem here. But anyway, it's working right now. Let's switch to the dark mode. They also have a dark mode here. I don't really know why they have given the name Vanilla OS. Is it because of the Vanilla GNOME experience? I don't know, but yeah, it is actually Vanilla GNOME experience. You get a very clean user interface, all working properly. You also get the latest GNOME apps installed. For example, you get console instead of the terminal, which is generally made available by systems. But one problem that I really didn't like is while closing the terminal, it will ask you if you want to close the terminal because some command is open inside it. So let's again open terminal, and let's try to install a package. Now VSO install, let's go for Firefox. Let's see if we can get Firefox installed. Yeah, we need 250 MBs of additional disk space. But while it is installing, let me also show you the current software that I get for the system. I currently have this very core installation of all the GNOME apps. I didn't go for the other stuff since I didn't need. By default, you get GNOME Web, which is a really nice browser. So you're not getting Firefox, but you're getting GNOME Web, which is again suggestive of the term vanilla. And we get the 45.2 version of GNOME Web. So I guess we have installed Firefox. So as you can see, it shows that Firefox on VSO Pico, which is our Vanilla OS system. Doesn't really launch from there. Okay, let's see the help for this. Oh, we have to use the run command. VSO run Firefox. It is impossible to reach VSO shell. Do you want to reset it? Remove all your software installed in the subsystem. So it's again facing some problem. Let's see if we can get rid of it. So it's recreating the VSO subsystem again. Done. I think we will lose the installation of Firefox, which it did. So I will again try and install Firefox, and let's see if it works this time. Okay, while it is installing, let me show you the other stuff that you get by default inside the system. The interesting part is APKs has a very new, nice looking user interface. So it's using the GTK technologies you can see from the about page. It's the 1.0.2 version of APKs. Okay, we have the installation done. Let's try and open Firefox again. So I'm facing the similar problem on my main PC where I can't install new software even after the installation is done. So again, we will try to run from here. It is really difficult to get things done on vanilla due to some reason. I don't know. Somehow this problem is only specifically happening to me. The problem is not happening with others. I was watching some other creators who have posted their YouTube video. It works really fine, but due to some reason it just won't operate well on my system. Okay, it's again asking me to reset the VSO. I'm not going to do that again. So one of the features of Vanilla OS includes this, where you can create subsystems, and they have a very nice user interface for setting up APKs. Inside APKs, I've already set up Fedora, which is based on a Fedora stack. If you want to create a new subsystem, it is very simple. You can just click on new subsystem, enter a name for it. For example, if you want it to be based on something else, might be Ubuntu, you can just name it Ubuntu and just hit create, and it will create the subsystem for you. It does take some time for creating it. Might be because it is inside a VM, or it just takes that normally, I don't know, but yeah, it does take some time. So if you want, you can enter the subsystem also. So I'll just open the console and show you how it all works. So right now I guess I'm already inside DNF, I mean Fedora. No, I'm not. So I'll just go APX, and with the H flag, so we have Fedora as an available command to work with. So we can again go for APX Fedora with the H flag. Oops, sorry. So APX Fedora H flag, and here we have all the available commands. So there's auto remove, clean, enter, export, install, list, purge, remove, and all of those available. What you can do is APX Fedora install. So let's try something like GNOME terminal. Let's see if it works. So APX Fedora install GNOME terminal. So yeah, it needs okay, 235 MBs. That's a bit on the higher side, but yeah, it's downloading all the packages. Okay, while it does this, I'm also going to show you what are the different package managers you get inside APX. So these are the stack on which you can base your subsystem, and they all have their own respective package managers. For example, in case of Alpine, you have APK. In case of Crystal Linux, you have AME. Fedora, as usual, you get DNF, and it goes on. So all the different applications, you get a different package manager. Let us close all the tabs. And one nice thing I noticed is the utilization of tabs. It is actually based on GTK4, and I didn't really find any mention of GTK3 inside this operating system till now. So it pretty much tries to give a very updated GNOME experience. I guess the system monitor is still based on GTK3, if I'm not wrong. No, it's probably GTK4 too. Yeah, it's also GTK4. So we're getting the system monitor from GNOME 46 Alpha. So even in characters or other applications which we get installed, maybe fonts and all, I guess most of them, or all of them rather, are GTK4 apps. So disk is GTK3. You can really understand with the user interface. It's a bit different, but yeah, it's all fine. Okay, let us see if we have installed. Okay, exported one application. It's perfectly done. I guess it should be added in the apps page. As you can see here, we have terminal on Fedora. So let's try and launch. Most of the time it fails to launch due to some reason, I don't know. So let's see what other stuff we can do from the Fedora thing. Okay, we can actually enter Fedora. So let's try and enter the subsystem environment, and we have entered Fedora. As you can see, it was VSO Pico, which changed to APX Fedora, which is great. Now I can just directly access DNF from here. So I will just enter the GNOME terminal and it should be starting up. That is interesting. Okay, let's try and install something simpler. Let's go for neofetch. DNF install neofetch. Oh, sorry, we have to go for sudo. Okay, again, we have 32 MBs of download size, 107 MBs of install size. What I would do is try the same thing on my main PC where I have done the installation on bare metal. Here also, if you see, I'll show you after this process is done, that the opening of Android is also not working properly. Vanilla OS is supposed to be supporting Android, but unfortunately it doesn't work over here, and also there also it doesn't work. So yeah. Okay, completed installation. Let's now run neofetch. And yeah, it works properly. Okay, so neofetch works properly, but terminal doesn't open. Let's try and install some different application instead of the terminal. Let's go and install Firefox. While it does this, we can actually open a different tab and I can show you. Okay, separate this out. How the Android thing works over here. So for Android, we have the VSO for doing all the stuff. It's actually the package manager inside Vanilla OS. So we can go for VSO H, which gives us all these options available. So you can do Android, completion, config, export and all, everything. Pico init does the initialization work, but it's already initialized. So if I run Pico init, it shows you that the VSO system is already initialized, so we don't need to do that. But what we're interested in is the Android. So let's run Android with the H flag. Again, we will see some help commands here. Okay, it's based on Wadroid, so I will try to launch a Wadroid session. So it's again showing that Wadroid is not initialized, so run Wadroid init. But the problem is, even if I run it again, it's going to show the same option problem. So this problem is specifically happening inside the virtual machine installation due to some reason. It doesn't happen in the main PC installation which I have over there. So I'm going to try and open Android and all. I'm going to show you the VSO subsystem over there. Also, the Wadroid installation or the Android support for VSO is not complete over there. It doesn't work as intended on that PC too. So I know it's kind of disappointing to see all these features and then you find out that they do not work properly. I have a fairly modern system. I would say it's the 10th generation of Intel i3. Fairly modern because the current generation is probably 14th, and here I'm running the 12th gen of the Intel i5. Okay, it's still installing Firefox. Let's explore the other apps which you get. You get Photos installed in your system, which somehow discovers a new device. Okay, Vanilla OS, I guess it is the ISO which is connected. Photos is also based on GTK3, although it is the latest version probably, since it is the 44th version of Photos. This is what you get, and there are other stuff which you get, like the files. Of course you have seen the files, right? This is of course based on GTK4, and we have software. I have actually installed something from the software, that is a Brave browser, but as of now I guess we have completed the installation of Firefox, and it did not show up here due to some reason. I don't know why, but I guess we can run Firefox from within here. Should be working. Okay, while Vanilla is struggling to launch a simple app like Firefox, let us see all the other applications which we get installed. I have installed Brave from the software store, so I'll just open and see if it works or not. It should be working because it is a Flatpak version of Brave. So yeah, it works. Lovely. Let's visit a website. Let's go google.com. Oh, we got Firefox to work. But wait a second, this is the Firefox on VSO Pico. It's not the one in Fedora, or is it the one in Fedora? It's actually the one in Fedora. And due to some reason, it is getting recognized as the app which is on VSO Pico. What we can do again is try to reinstall the GNOME terminal from DNF. So we can just do, okay, let's exit from here. Can we exit? Yeah, we exited, and let's again run h. So we can remove specified packages with the remove command. So again, fedora remove, and let's enter gnome terminal, so y button, and removed. Again, we need to enter into fedora, and let's go sudo dnf install gnome terminal. Okay, let's try and open gnome terminal. Let's see if it works. Okay, we are facing the same problem, and let's see if we can get gnome console to work. I don't really know the package name, so yeah, okay, it's fine. Okay, it has installed the console. Again, it does not show up here, but yeah, let us try and open it from within the Fedora terminal. Okay, it's not working. GNOME console has a very weird binary name. I had to search the internet to get it. It's probably KGX, and yeah, it works. So it actually launches the APX VSO Pico version of the GNOME terminal, which is unexpected, but yeah, let's exit from here and try to launch it from the VSO shell. So I mean using APX. Second, APXH. Okay, we have the run command for that. So APX fedora run, and we have to enter the weird name, which is KGX. Again, it launches the VSO Pico version of the GNOME console. Anyway, let's not waste our time here, and let's go there and try out all the stuff. So let me just quickly show you what problem I'm facing. It actually did not install any of the GNOME core apps due to some reason. It had encountered some error, and it just gave up with the installation. The same reason, I guess, the software center is not working anymore, and I can't get any software to work or install over here. So if I just search for anything like OBS, it just gives you that no app is found. So it's difficult to work here. And now you might say that I have this option of opening the terminal. Okay, so even if I try to install stuff, for example VSO install Firefox, it does install properly, but again what happens on my VM is that it half installs. So it installs but it won't open. The same thing is happening over here. So let's wait for a few seconds while the installation completes. And I know this is probably the worst way to show a screen inside a video, but yeah, there's really no other option. You might say that why I did not use GNOME's screen recorder. I don't really trust that, because previously I've encountered a lot of problem with the GNOME screen recorder, and it exports in WebM, which is also a format which many of the video editors doesn't support. I don't really want to take any more risks with this and put hurdles on my way. But yeah, here we have Firefox on VSO Pico, so let's try to launch it, if it works or not. So as usual, it doesn't launch. Again, if I try to launch from VSO, so VSO run Firefox, it also doesn't work. It again gives you the same error. It is impossible to reach the VSO shell, so do you want to reset it? I actually did reset previously, so it did not have the Firefox installation to install it again. But yeah, it doesn't work. But anyway, let me show you the other feature which works here but doesn't work on the virtual machine which we had there. So Android works here. It's actually done with the VSO package manager itself. So VSO H, as you can see, we have the Android command over here. So VSO Android, and we can do all these things. I actually tried to install my own application, which is Lux. It's available inside the Play Store also. It's a very clean and easy to use note-taking app. So what we can do is just open with sideload. Double clicking actually works here to open with sideload, but unfortunately it does not work there. So I had to right click and open with sideload from this section. But anyway, double click and install. It does face another error, but let's see if the installation succeeds or not. So it's waiting for Wadroid session to start. It is based on Wadroid, like I mentioned before, and installation complete. Package Lux installed successfully. Let us see if we can get it in the activities or not. We actually don't get it. I didn't really expect, because nothing is done properly here. So I guess we need to start from here. Launch an installed application. We installed Lukes, so I don't know if we have to launch with the package name. What is the package name? It is com.next.lukes. So VSO Android launch com.next.lukes. Let's see if it works. So it's waiting for Waydroid session to start. Okay, it's launching the entire Waydroid setup. I was actually expecting vanilla to be doing something from scratch, but oh, just goes away. Okay, it doesn't work. So let's do VSO Android launcher. Let us see if it works. Again, it is starting the Waydroid session, and it launches. So we are on Android 11. So it's not really a very old version of Android. It's fairly modern version of Android, but still it doesn't launch. Might be because it is incompatible with this version of Android. Okay, so that is pretty much my experience with Vanilla OS. I'm pretty sure that with time everything would be sorted out quick. Also, the problem is happening on my system. The other testers are not really facing that problem. And again, I have given a fair amount of chance to Vanilla. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.